Hi friends, this video is going to show you how to make an animated character using Scratch, the free software program developed by MIT. Scratch is available to download to your computer, but it's also available online. You or your child, they'll need to create an online account. So do be aware it's a little bit more of a social environment than the offline version. Anyway, we are going to get started making a character right now. Here we go. I have logged in and I'm going to click the create button. Okay. Notice that the online version shows, all of the different software or the different programs that other people have made. Some are super impressive. You can follow your favorites and you can even play games and whatnot. This is the general layout of Scratch. Now they've revised it just a little bit. It's pretty cool. On the left-hand side are the code blocks, and we'll get to those in a second. Today I'm going to be showing you a lot about the costume tab here. Notice the Scratch cat, that is their mascot. I'm going to just right-click on this cat and hit delete. We're going to make our own, okay? Down here on the right-hand side is where you can choose your own sprite, okay? Sprites are just characters. So consider, it's very basic, consider Scratch kind of a game-making program where you can have sprites, which are characters, and you can have backgrounds, which are stages. So you want to always keep in mind that when you draw sprites, try not to draw text, try not to draw backgrounds. A lot of beginners kind of confuse that, and that's kind of important. So we're going to draw a character here. Go to Paint, and then it opens up the Costumes window over here, okay? And if I wanted to go back to the code, you can just toggle back and forth from these, okay? All right, so right off the bat, this is your drawing area, and that's really all the area you have to draw in. You can zoom in, you can zoom out. I actually recommend maybe zooming in one click, no more than one click, but it makes it a little bit easier for you to draw, have smaller sprites that way. Notice this button, Convert to Bitmap. Historically, Scratch, when you drew, you were drawing with bitmap tools, like RGB tools, red, green, blue, like pixelated tools. Now, the default are vector tools, okay? Notice how crisp and clear the vector tools are. They're made with points and lines and math, and they're super duper exact and crisp and clear, okay? But it's a little bit different to draw with vector tools than bitmap tools. So if you or your student is more comfortable drawing with programs like Paint, like Microsoft Paint, just the basic Paint programs, the vector tools are a little bit more challenging, okay? If I wanted to delete all these shapes, I could easily do that, or I could just click the undo button here. Control-Z, keyboard controls work as well. I'm actually going to convert to the bitmap side. Notice that the tools, even the icons, look a little bit more pixelated. Either way, it's kind of personal preference how you want to do this, okay? So first of all, I'm going to choose color black. I always like to outline. And I'm going to draw an outline of a fish. That is what I'm going to draw today. Pardon my art skills. There we go. Now, if I wanted to draw an eyeball, if I freehand a circle, that's kind of hard to do. So I can press undo, and I can actually draw or use the circle tool to make that eyeball, okay? If I want it filled, I can use the fill option, or if I want it outlined, I could use the outline option, okay? There's that. Let me draw the tail. Dorsal fin. There we go. All right, so there's a basic fish. Now, if I wanted to fill the fish different colors, you can do that using the paint bucket tool. Here's the color slider bar, the saturation slider bar, and the brightness. In fact, I'm going to make this pretty bright to start. Use maybe like a light blue, and I'm just going to click inside of those shapes. So this is where outlining your sprites is actually really helpful, okay? Let me actually grab the eraser. Let me show you something. If I'm gonna lower the size of the eraser tip to maybe like 10. Okay, so if you had a split in your shape like that, and then tried to fill this fin, the color would bleed through this polygon, this hole here. and fill the entire body. So when you're drawing these shapes, just make sure you don't have any holes in your lines. I'm going to press undo to undo that. Okay. And I'm going to grab the paint bucket tool and click on this fin again. Okay, now I'm going to choose a different color for the body. And I can maybe darken that a little bit. There you go. I need to fill the eyeball as well. So let's choose white. There we go. Saturation 0, brightness 100%. That is white. There we go. That actually doesn't look very good. So I'm going to choose a different color than white for the eyeball. There we go. Okay, enough with that. To add character to your fish, all you would need to do is grab like maybe a color black. Now watch, I could drag the brightness bar all the way down and get black. Or I could simply grab the eyedropper tool and pick up any black anywhere. And that's actually a quicker way. The eyedropper tool is a quicker way than to use the slider bar. And I'm just gonna add like a little people there. There we go. So now it looks like a fun fish, okay? All right, so there is my sprite. And this is just kind of the stage over here, the playing area, the viewing area. Okay, this isn't where we draw, it's over here, okay? So now, if I wanted to make that fish blink, pretty easy to do, but I just want to copy him first. So up here, you can right-click on your costume and duplicate. I highly recommend that you name your costumes. So this will be fish. This one will be fish. Eyes closed. How about that? There we go. Okay, and don't worry about spelling. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take my eraser and I'm going to increase the size of my eraser brush again, and I'm going to erase the eyeball. That's it. Now I'm going to fill this area with green. So again, I'm going to go to the paint can, go to my color palette, but instead of trying to figure out what green that was, I'm going to click the eyedropper tool and just pick up the color of green again. Perfect. And then fill that right in. Okay, now I'm going to grab the line tool, and I need black. So I'm going to make a kind of like the eye blinking. But instead of just dragging the brightness bar back, you can grab the eyedropper tool, click on black. There we go. And then there's the eye. Okay. So here's my fish with the eye open, fish with the eye closed. You can already see what's going to happen when I start to program this fish to blink, okay? Let's try something else. Let's duplicate the normal fish, okay? And let's try to make it look like maybe he's breathing, okay? That's kind of fun to do. So to do that, I basically want to just expand maybe the lower half of his body like this, okay? So fairly simple to do. You're going to use the select tool in this case. This select tool is actually really important. That's almost like your finger, that's like your hand. A lot of applications have this important tool way at the top because it's so important. Just realize that that's what this is. Here's the select tool, the eraser tool, text tool. We've already used the paint can. You can draw shapes and circles and whatnot. All right, so I'm basically going to drag. I'm going to see. I'm trying to think about how to select this guy. There we go. I'm going to just select kind of the bottom half of him like that. And I'm just going to drag it down a little bit. That's it. Doesn't have to be much to give the cool animated effect. Okay. But now notice how I now have to go in and fix. I kind of fill in that hole there. Easy to do. Start with the black first. So I'm going to grab my pen, grab the eyedropper to pick up the black, and I've changed the width of my, oops. I've changed the width of my brush a little bit. Oops, Control Z. That's okay. We will manage just fine. Doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. Same with the mouth. Okay, and then I'm going to pick up the green again and fill this area in. Just click that. Click that, there we go. Let me pick up the black again one more time to make this look really good. There we go. Okay, oops, and notice how there's a little divot there. I can basically fill that in. There we go. You can even grab the eraser tool and fix it perfectly. Okay, so now we have one fish, two fish. Oops, there we go. So notice how, if you look over here, you'll see this effect a lot better. Notice how the fish looks like he's kind of breathing, okay? I'm going to erase the top half of this fin a little bit and fill it one more time with the green, and then I'll be done, okay? Sorry for that. Okay, so now I want to toggle between these, okay? In the code, this is where you do this, okay? So right off the bat, let's go to our events. When the green flag is clicked, let me zoom up. When the green flag is clicked, let's set the fish's costume to the normal fish costume. There we go. Because every time we start our animation, here are your animation start and stop buttons. Green flag here, okay? So notice how the fish, the animation that, or the costume that's actually being shown is the one with the eyes closed. As soon as I click this green flag, it's going to be the fish with the eye open, okay? I forgot to name that other, instead of fish 2, let's say fish breathing. There we go. That's going to be more helpful to us. Okay. So we want the fish eye to be blinking, okay? So let's try to do that. We'll need another costume and fish eye closed. There we go. And we could wait, let's see, let's put some time in between this. Oops, the control block is what you want. You can wait 1 second. So when I click the green flag, the fish is going to start, and then after 1 Mississippi, the eyes will close. 1 Mississippi, there we go. But now the eyes need to open again, okay? So you can go back to looks, grab switch costume to, and then make the, go back to the normal fish costume, okay? Now in Scratch, this is gonna happen immediately. After the fish eyes closed, it's gonna open again. And we are actually not gonna see the result of that. So if I click this, you never see the eyes close, okay? So you do need to add another wait block in between these two. So go to the control blocks, pull out a second. Now it's going to work. If I click the green flag, 1 Mississippi, there we go. You can use decimals in these numeric values here. So if I put 0.1, okay, that's going to be a super fast blink, very much like we do. Now if I click this, there we go. And that looks more realistic, at least anthropomorphic for people. Now let's make this happen forever. Okay, so this is when we use a forever loop, and we can actually pull this out here and attach it. Now this is going to take a little bit of, know that you can totally unsnap these blocks, reorder them in any way you want, and then put them back together again, okay? Let's try this now. Here we go. The fish is constantly blinking his eyeball. Okay, but that looks a little bit unnatural, right? So we're just gonna stop this. And this is where we can actually do kind of some random behavior here. Scratch has a really cool random block here. Pick a random number from 1 to 10, okay? Well, we could basically substitute this value of 1 with a random number from 1 to 10, okay? So we normally blink, you know, anywhere from 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds, okay? So I'm just gonna put this up here for 4 seconds. Now, let's try and see what this looks like. So notice how it's a little bit more natural, okay, which is great. That's exactly what we want. Now keep in mind we have fish breathing costume that we haven't used yet, okay? So we could also kind of throw that in there too, okay? So try to think about a way to do that. I will add that in my next video. Okay, I'm gonna pause it right here for now. Guys, enjoy making your fish.